Welcome back to another video of Hoot and Poop. So I hope you enjoyed last week's ClearPoint Neuro. Okay, so in this week's video, I will be talking a little bit about the technological sector. So technology sector has always been a sector of my own interest. So that's why when I first noticed about this company, I have so much of interest in researching in it. Okay, so before I move on, let me just get some disclaimer out. Okay, basically, whatever I'm sharing here are all for educational purposes. It's definitely not a recommendation, right, to buy or sell. So if you need any advices, please seek professionals instead of here. Okay. The second disclaimer I'm going to make is that the company, okay, that I'm talking about, I am vested. So my views contains some form of biasness. Okay. So now with that out, okay, let's move on to the topic. So the company that I'm going to talk about is Arqit, ticker symbol ARQQ. Okay, so Arqit basically it's a quantum encryption company. Okay, so what's quantum and what's encryption? It's basically quantum is a kind of new technology called quantum computing, something similar to that. Now, encryption is how we kind of secure or rather we kind of lock our important messages, for example, and then so that in order to read the message, okay, you will need a certain specific keys to unlock it. Okay, so before I go into what Arqit is all about, okay, this video is purely an introduction on what does the different types of, or rather the traditional encryption versus the quantum encryption. Okay, now during this whole video, I really struggled a lot and try my best to keep it as simple as possible. So if it's a little bit too confused and so on, so please let me know in the comment section and I'll try my best to explain it as simple as possible. Okay, so I appreciate a like and subscribe if it's possible. Thank you. All right, now move on. Now, let's say I have two characters. Okay, I'm having Billy and I have Lily. Right, Billy and Lily. What are the name? Billy, Lily. Okay, fine. Billy and Kim. Okay, Billy and Kim. Okay, so Billy is on my left and then Kim is on my right. Okay, so Billy wants to send a letter to Kim. Okay, so basically they just send an email, for example. Okay, then unfortunately, this letter contains some private and confidential information, probably about some companies and so on. So Billy don't want any other hackers to get hold of this letter. So he only wants Lily, or he only wants Kim. Sorry, he only wants Kim to get the letter. Okay, so what he do is that he encrypt this letter with a lock. In some sense, in technical terms, it's called encrypt. But for simplicity, let's call it lock. He locked the letter. Okay, and then he sends the letter to Kim. So in order to unlock the letter, Kim must use a specific key to unlock it. So this is how it works. Okay, so now, unfortunately, in the process of sending the letter, okay, there is a hacker we call Tom. Okay, so Billy, or sending the letter to Kim, there is a hacker appears, and his name is Tom, and he made a copy of that letter. Of course, when you make a copy of the letter, it comes with the encryption. Okay, so Kim, on the other hand, has the key to unlock the letter, but Tom didn't have the key. However, because since you have the lock set, theoretically speaking, you are able to derive the keys through trial and error processes. Now, currently, in order to do so, it poses certain form of challenge to it. But as technology advances, as we introduce quantum computing into the world, which is now currently, they are in the market. There are some companies that's doing of it, and one of them is even listed as well. Okay, so now by doing so, by having quantum computing, you are able, or the Tom is able to reduce the trial and error to determine the keys to unlock this encryption letter. Now, think about, like, for example, when you watch TV, when there is a lock, in order to unlock it, you just use paperclip and kind of try and error to unlock it. Something similar concept to this kind of encryption. So through time, okay, so of course Tom has a hard time, what's the key and so on, but through trial and error, And with sufficient time, Tom can get the correct key and to unlock it. So this creates a security breach in terms of exposing the confidential letter that Billy wants to send to Kim. Okay, now introducing quantum computing. So quantum computing basically is the next level of computing where it processes the speed faster. Now I'm not going to dwell too much on it because it's really very technical. So I'm just going to give you a brief introduction on how is it. Okay. So similar concept, Billy locks the letter, which is confidential, and sends it over to Kim. Okay. Now, for quantum encryption, which what Arqit is all about, quantum encryption basically, Billy comes out with a rather random locks combinations made out of zeros and one. Okay. So this is how it is. And then this 0 and 1s, okay, will then be converted into a photon's position. So it can be vertical, horizontal, and so on. Okay. So just recap the whole thing. So basically, Billy wants to send a confidential letter to Kim. So Billy encrypts it, sends it over to Kim. And then Billy at the same time sends the encrypted, or rather the photons, the randomized photon patterns, which he converted using the 0101 patterns that he came up with, he sends over to Kim for Kim to identify what is the key to unlock this encrypted letter. So how does Kim kind of identify what is the correct letter to do so? So Kim has to use this special kind of measurement, okay, that reads the photons, okay, based on their directions to determine the key. Of course, there are some form of guessing involved in it, but basically this is how the whole concept is. So Kim runs these photons that was being sent by Billy across the readers, okay, and then she will get her own sets of 1001 by random. And what she needs to do is that she will then, what she can do is that she can then send her testers, okay, patterns back to Billy for Billy to verify which are the correct positioning of testers that to be used. And from there, okay, they are able to, both Kim and Billy, they are able to identify which are the 01s and 10s that coincide with each other. So as you can see, for this case is, the second, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth numbers coincide with each other. Therefore, 1010 by random will be this special key to unlock the encrypted letter. Okay, so this is in summary how it works, is that if you do not understand whatever I have mentioned above, just remember that quantum encryption basically means to say that Billy encrypt the letter, send it over to Kim, and Kim used a quantum encryption kind of quantum decryption key to unlock this letter, and that's how it is. Okay, so the difference between current encryption and quantum encryption is that quantum encryption, basically you are just playing with photons and trying to get these specific keys out. Okay, so now Tom, the hacker, comes up again. And so Billy sends the letter halfway, Tom intersects the letter, made a copy of it. Okay, there is a special key that he managed to decipher based on the photons, etc., to unlock the letter. But Tom, on the other hand, he's unsure of how it works, how unsure of what's the key. Now, you may then ask, maybe Tom can decipher using the lock set method, kind of guess what's the key to it's possible, but at this very moment, based on what I have researched upon, it is not possible to do so, because quantum encryption is the next level of security, or rather the next level of encryption. So while Kim can happily read the confidential letter, Tom would probably be guessing a whole bunch of keys that doesn't open the letter. Okay, and do also note that, because the fact that Kim has to run through the photons, or rather the photons patterns that were being sent by Billy in a very random way, and then after that they cross-check the scanner patterns, or the Kim and Billy cross-check the scanner patterns in order to decipher, for Kim to decipher which are the keys, okay, without communicating further with Billy. So this makes it really, really very hard for Tom to hack it. Okay, so in summary, this is what quantum computing, or rather quantum encryption, is all about. Okay, so I really, really struggle a lot to try to make this content as simple as possible. Now, there is a video that explains this whole thing in a simpler manner, but yet elaborate, more elaborate than my video, which I will share in the link. You can take a look at it. Okay, but just remember, Arqit is in the quantum encryption technology sector, and quantum encryption at this moment, it is difficult, or rather impossible, to hack. So this is the next level of encryption that we are looking at. Okay, so I hope I don't confuse you guys too much. Okay, so if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, and with that, invest safe.